Jari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Thank you. Om Jnanatirmiyandasya Gananjana Salakaya Chakchurun Militanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutaye Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Prasyatya Desatarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Okay, so we're reading from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, text number 10. So I'd also like to seek the blessings of everyone here and also to those who may be listening online. So thank you. So maybe I'll speak something worthwhile. Thank you. So we'll start with the Sanskrit recitation and then we'll move on to the purport and the translation. Bijamam sarvabhutanam Vidi Parta Sanatanam Buddhir Buddhi Matamasmi Tejas Tejas Vinamaham Bijamam Sarvabhutanam Vidi Parta Sanatanam Buddhir Buddhi Matamasmi Tejas Tejas Vinamaham Bijamam Sarvabhutanam Vidi Parta Sanatanam Buddhir Buddhi Matamasmi Tejas Tejas Vinamaham. So if anybody would like to try the recitation themselves, if it's okay, if would like to, or it's okay if Bijamam Sarvabhutanam Vidi Parta Sanatanam Buddhir Buddhi Matamasmi Tejas Tejas Vinamaham. So moving on to the translation and purport. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existences, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men. O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existences, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men. And purport. Bija means seed. Krishna is the seed of everything. Then there are various living entities, movable and inert, birds, beasts, men, and many other living creatures are moving living entities. Trees and plants, however, are inert. They cannot move, but only stand. Every entity is contained within the scope of 8,400,000 species of life. Some of them are moving, and some of them are inert. In all cases, however, the seed of their life is Krishna. As stated in the Vedic literature, Brahman, or the supreme absolute truth, is that from which everything is emanating. Krishna is Para-Brahman, the supreme spirit. Brahman is impersonal, and Para-Brahman is personal. Impersonal Brahman is situated in the personal aspect. That is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, originally, Krishna is the source of everything. He is the root. As the root of a tree maintains the whole tree, Krishna, being the original root of all things, maintains everything in this material manifestation. This is also confirmed in the Vedic literature, Katha Upanishad 2.2.13. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadhati Kaman. He is the prime eternal among all eternals. He is the supreme living entity of all living entities, and He alone is maintaining all life. One cannot do anything without intelligence, and Krishna also says that He is the root of all intelligence. Unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada goes into some detail there in the purport about actually explaining Krishna as the root. So Krishna is the actual, the cause of everything, just as it mentions as the tree. So basically, as us living entities, we may have some acumen, intelligence, power, capability of some kind. But Krishna is basically saying that everything comes from him. So in this chapter, in the 7th chapter, Krishna, he speaks about many different things, but basically he's making this point that nothing is possible without him. Everything is manifest from him. Ham pravaso sarvabho iti matva pravartate. So basically, Krishna, he is the source of all spiritual and material manifestations. So Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki. So Krishna is a person, he is known as having the 6 opulences. So these 6 opulences are, only Krishna has them in completeness. So these opulences, they are beauty, strength, knowledge, fame, renunciation, so basically nobody can actually claim to have these in full. We have many examples, in this world of people who are, intelligent, wealthy, even famous and so on. We take, for example, Elon Musk now is the most wealthiest person in the world. But even the most wealthiest person in the world, can they actually claim to have any wealth which is in comparison to Krishna? So basically it's impossible. And the living entities in this world, when they get something which is generally an opulence of some kind, they generally they can become egoistic and so on. So this is another actually a pitfall in terms of actually trying to practice spiritual life. And ultimately what's mentioned, the last snare of Maya, is to think that we'll actually become God. So we have this tendency to want to actually enjoy and control in this material world. But we have to admit that actually we're completely, we're helpless in that sense. We're not the controllers. And Srila Prabhupada says, even in this body, it's like inside the body is like a mini universe. There's so many different things happening all the time, different cycles and so on, and we have no control over it actually. So to think that we are the controllers is a very big actual miscalculation. So another actual pitfall as well is that different people on the path, these yogis and so on, even in terms of worldly opulence, one of these highest forms of opulence is these mystic cities. So I'm going to read, this is a paragraph from the Nectar of Devotion by Srila Prabhupada. So, the 8 mystic perfections. The mystic perfections achieved by actually successful yogis are 8 in number. Anima Siddhi refers to the power by which one can become so small that he can enter into a stone. Similarly, all of the yoga siddhis or perfections are material arts. In one yoga siddhi, there is development of the power to become so light that one can float in the air or on water. A mystic yogi can enter into the sun planet simply by using the rays of the sunshine. This perfection is called lagima. Similarly, a yogi can touch the moon with his finger. This siddhi is called prapti, or acquisition. With this prapti siddhi, not only can the perfect mystic yogi touch the moon planet, but he can extend his hand anywhere and take whatever he likes. He may be sitting thousands of miles away from a certain place, and if he likes, he can take fruit from a garden there. That is prapti siddhi. by the yogi siddhi known as Isita, one can create and destroy an entire planet simply at will. Another perfection is called Vasita, and by this perfection, one can bring anyone under his control. There is another mystic perfection which is known as Prakamya, magic. By this Prakamya power, one can achieve anything he likes. For example, one can make water enter into his eye and then again come out from within the eye. The highest perfection of mystic power is called Kamavaseita. This is also magic. But whereas the Prakamya power acts to create wonderful effects within the scope of nature, Kamyavasiyita permits one to contradict nature, in other words, to do the impossible. So these are 8 a number of mystic perfections. So these are, for example, these Himalayan yogis and mystic yogis, they can develop these perfections, but Srila Prabhupada calls them yogis, and basically, when one develops these perfections, it's still material. It's actually just manipulating material nature. So there's nothing actually spiritual in it, and there's nothing actually devotional per se. So, yeah, in terms of actual, but one may become, achieve a lot of prowess and, be able to do things which are unexplainable to the ordinary person. So this has, if we know Bhakta David Thakur here on the right, he was a magistrate in the Indian government, and at that time there was this certain yogi who claimed to be Mahavishnu, and he was causing a lot of trouble for the authorities, and basically he was manipulating people. He would do healings, produce fire, and all these different things, so he could actually take advantage of people. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he was, along with British sergeants and so on, he was designated to actually bring him under control or arrest and so on, as he was even like stealing wives of brahmanas and all this kind of thing. So basically, after some time, this yogi cursed Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and he became quite weak actually, but he was still able to arrest him. And one of the British soldiers had read a yogi book, and what happened was he cut the hair of this yogi when he was arrested, and after that it's known that the yogis, they keep their strength in their hair. So when his hair was cut, he just collapsed on the ground, because he went 40 days or something without food or water. He was sustaining himself from his mystic power, but actually, without the strength of the mystic power, he was completely finished. But I'm not sure if he passed away in that instance, but he was completely finished in that sense. So this is an example that, when we think we're the doer, which Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita, that actually we're not the doers. It's actually this material mode of nature. So we identify with the mode of nature that is actually us, who are actually, doing things. But we have what's known as minute independence. All we can do is actually, we have complete free will to decide who we can serve. And basically, we can either serve ourselves or serve Krishna, which is actually, one is a selfish and one is an actual, the best thing, as was mentioned in the purport, that basically when we water the root of the tree, which is basically Krishna, our devotion to Krishna, everything else will prosper. So our own material ambitions are like watering the leaves of the tree, so it's not going to be as effective in that sense. So something which is very important in spiritual life is that we have to develop a sense of austerity. So this is doing things where we actually go against the grain of our conditioning to a certain degree, because we know that certain things aren't good for us, they're not healthy for us. So this is a quote from Srila Prabhupada from the Srimad Bhagavatam. The same applies to all kinds of austerities. Tapasya means voluntary acceptance of bodily pains to achieve some higher end of life. Ravana and Hiranyakashipu underwent a severe type of bodily torture to achieve the end of sense gratification. Sometimes modern politicians undergo severe types of austerities to achieve some political end. This is not actually tapasya. One should accept voluntarily bodily inconvenience for the sake of knowing Vasudeva, because that is the way of real austerities. So, like Hiranyakashipu, his kind of austerity was so intense that basically it said that nobody had ever been able to perform such austerity in the past, and no one will be able to do so in the future. So basically, he was standing on one leg, and he was simply just maintained by his life heirs. Even he was there for so long, all the insects and everything had eaten through his flesh and everything. So he was very powerful, and he achieved all this, power from Lord Brahma, ultimately the benediction. So I'm just going to explain more about this. Hiranyakashipu wanted to become immortal. He wanted not to be conquered by anyone, not to be attacked by old age and disease, and not to be harassed by any opponent. Thus he wanted to become the absolute ruler of the entire universe. With this desire, he entered the valley of Mandara mountain and began practicing a severe type of austerity and meditation. Seeing Hiranyakashipu engage in this austerity, the demigods returned to their respective homes. But while Hiranyakashipu was thus engaged, a kind of fire began blazing from his head, disturbing the entire universe and its inhabitants, including the birds, beasts, and demigods. When all the higher and lower planets became too hot to live on, the demigods, being disturbed, left their abodes in the higher planets and went to see Lord Brahma, praying to him that he curtail this unnecessary heat. The demigods disclosed to Lord Brahma Hiranyakashipu's ambition to become immortal, overcoming his short duration of life, and to be the master of all the planetary systems, even Dhruvaloka. Upon hearing about the purpose of Hiranyakashipu's austere meditation, Lord Brahma, accompanied by the great sage Bhrigu and great personalities like Daksha, went to see Hiranyakashipu. He then sprinkled water from his kamandalu, a type of water pot, upon Hiranyakashipu's head. Hiranyakashipu, the king of the Daityas, bowed down before Lord Brahma, the creator of this universe, offering respectful obeisances again and again, and offering prayers. When Lord Brahma agreed to give him benedictions, he prayed not to be killed by any living entity, not to be killed in any place, covered or uncovered, not to die in the daytime or at night, not to be killed by any weapon, on the land or in the air, and not to be killed by any human being, animal, demigod, or any other entity, living or non-living. He further prayed for supremacy over the entire universe and requested the 8 yogic perfections such as anima and lagima. So this is Hiranyakashipu. So one thing which is important to understand is not just devotees that can become actually empowered. As materialists can also become empowered in that sense. But Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Ananyas-chintayanto mam ye jnanam paripasate tesham ya biruktanam yogashemham vayamyaham. So it says, to those who meditate exclusively on my transcendental form, for them I preserve what they have and I carry what they lack. So basically, Krishna does actually, he sustains his devotees and so on. but also in terms of the actual material energy, people can become empowered by that, and by that their austerities. But the thing to realize is that it's completely fruitless. Uh, all it does is actually feed the negative things in one's personality, as we can see with Hiranyakashipu. So the 6 enemies of the mind, we have first of all the 3 gates to hell, which is lust, anger and greed. Then we have pride, envy and illusion after that, which affect, everyone who will actually try to fulfill material ambitions. So the heart becomes hard, as we can see with Hiranyakashipu, and the complete opposite then was his son Prahlad Maharaj, who was a devotee. And as we can see, Hiranyakashipu, he was completely envious of Vishnu. And when this is the sign of a materialist, naturally they become envious. It's the very reason we're in this material world in the first place, is because it's considered envy actually, that Krishna is the supreme, but we want to actually become lords ourselves and actually seek to lord it over the material energy. So this is actually very evident in society as well. And even for that reason, you can see it's mentioned, I believe Bhakti Siddhanta, or maybe Bhakti Vinod Thakur, forgive me for that, but basically he was stating that when people generally take to devotional life, they can receive a lot of tests from people, envious people and so on, because it's literally basically going against the grain of this material world. So that's why devotees, it's mentioned actually in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 11th canto. It speaks about the Avanti Brahmana. So this was a Brahmana who was very he was very much a miser, and he would just keep every penny, not even to share it with his family or for no reason whatsoever. And basically he kind of received a hard time from his family, but then sorry, my throat. But basically he decided to actually just that he would basically just renounce in that sense. And so basically he even when he was renouncing all these people would actually ridicule him, and basically even when he had prasadam and stuff, they would urinate on his prasadam and so on, and so he wasn't able to renounce so well. But basically the lesson that he learned was not to react to basically when we have people who are hungry for power and material acquisition and so on, that basically the best thing to do is just to see them as instruments of our karma. This is something that Srila Prabhupada spoke about, is that basically if someone does bad onto us, we shouldn't just react with a philosophy of an eye for an eye, as this Mahatma Gandhi actually spoke about. If someone takes an eye for an eye, the whole world will be blind and so on. So basically, to know that the only real problem is actually our mind. So everything that's happening is orchestrated by Krishna. So as is mentioned, Krishna is the supreme, and all these different demigods, they control the different universal affairs, and actually everything that will come to us is our own karma. So it's not that we just be overly tolerant and submissive, but it's basically to not overreact and to be firm when it's due as well. But it's to see it all as Krishna's mercy to help us to actually grow and to overcome our own inhibitions and to ultimately become purified in our own heart. So basically this Vanti Brahmana, he had the understanding that even the tribulations due to his own body, they were actually he had no reason to be disturbed, because it was his mind which was disturbed, which was actually identifying with the body ultimately. So this is just one aspect, that ultimately it's our own mind that from material attachment. But it's basically, it's best to actually surrender unto Krishna, to actually seek to serve Krishna and to see things in that perspective. And Krishna will actually, he will only give us what's necessary in terms of karma. He'll never give us anything which we can't actually overcome. So there's never going to be the final straw which is too much. So that's actually Krishna's mercy. It's all tailor-made for us and for devotees for their growth. It is different when one is a non-devotee in that sense, because karma will come, vikarma, and just karma, sukarma, good and bad karma. But when one is a devotee, it's a karma, which is actually basically transcendental to action and reaction. Something also to mention, it mentions in the translation, that I am the original seed of all existences, the intelligence of the intelligent. So, in terms of thinking that we don't think ourselves a doer, the mind, the intelligence, and the false ego, they are mentioned as the actual elements of material nature. So basically, these are just part of the subtle body, but it's not part of the soul in that sense. The soul, of course, has its own, spiritual mind and intelligence, which is beyond that. But in our conditioned state, we have to realize that we're not a doer, and ultimately all intelligence comes from Krishna. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya chaham hridisani visto matar smritis gyanam apohanam cha. So he says that I am the source of all remembrance and forgetfulness, and he says that he's situated within the heart. So this is very important to remember as well, that when we think that any intelligence or capability is actually the mercy of Krishna from within the heart, are based on our own pious activity and so on, that we've been actually allowed to be endowed with a certain capability, but it's not actually our own capability. So this is important, that our own any capability in terms of actual our prarabdha karma, which is called our manifested karma, our brain and so on, that everything is just all coming from Krishna. So it's always good to have that humble approach, that it's not us, it's nothing to do with us. All we can do is actually try our best to surrender and to serve, and all inspiration will be inspired by Krishna within the heart. So I'd like to ask if there's any questions. Yeah. Or a comment. Yeah, definitely.
I've been struggling a bit with that detachment course.
Yeah.
Staying in the manner has been such a purification process. But it's been really nice what he said about how Krishna gives just the right amount
Yeah.
for us
Yeah.
to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 because, yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, because, it could be our mind when we think, but then we remember everything is in Krishna's control, and Krishna is our biggest well-wisher, ultimately. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so thank you very much. That'll be the end for today's Bhagavad Gita class. Okay. Bhagavad Gita ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, all glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you.
I would have come a bit earlier, but I'm still trying to.
No worries. I know you're busy.
It's just, when I feel like I've got all the water out of my boat,
Thank you for yeah.
It's very systematic. Oh, it's so nicely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I need to become more learned in Shastra.
It's already there. Anything you've got Sastra, it will enable your understanding and applying, which you make very nicely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Please keep on explaining. I'm serious.
hopefully Jesse. Oh dear.
You want to do it first? Yeah. If it's okay. Okay. I know. Share. If it comes to cancel the words.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamcha Sri Rupam
I'm sure.
Satrajatam Ragana
This would be good
Raghunatha
actually, because I do need to learn.
I do remember it, but sometimes it's easier if it's there. Isn't it? Because it was there. It was just for the reference. And because I know it's there, I
It's not got all the words in it, has it either? It's got some misses out.
No, it does. But you know, everybody has a different way of ending it. Some people would sing all the lines twice, and some would sing just once. Especially the paragraph where the Shankha one, that is the kind of improvised, like everybody, some people do that, like they just repeat those, and then they go so that's not written that way. It's the same words, but they use it in combination. So just that part, and at the end, when you go back Jaya Jaya, it's just the same Jaya Jaya, just being repeated. So it's the same word, it's just being used in a different way.
Oh, so there's different ways of, okay. So you've got a bit of play with it. Like, yeah,
And
okay.
I don't know why, but it's only these two lines, 4 lines basically. The first one and the Shankaraja line, it's only those 2 lines where they do a different thing, they play with it. That's it. I can't sing any other lines. Just play with it.
Okay. Right. Well, yeah, I'm glad to hear actually. It was good to learn from you.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I did it, like, I didn't really quite, I don't know the people artists because I'm studying. Because we started doing it, I didn't have any chance, any time to study. And luckily there was another devotee here that stays here that helps me.
Yes.
But just the congregation, everyone
must
just
be-
helped.
yes, yes.
Because like, I was, like, when I was getting ready, like, my dose wasn't going on properly, like, nothing was going on, I was getting so stressed out. And then it all went amazing, and it's like, oh, Krishna.
Krishna, yeah, that's it. He'll handle everything.
Yeah.
I'm also, when I started, I'm not, as I said, I can do the whole 20 other things. I do most of the practice. But Bhagavad has been like about 2 months now, I'm in second, so I'm also quite nervous today. So hopefully.
But it's such a rush, like, I just feel like, wow.
I know.
Oh,
Once
you're
you're there,
amazing. Yeah,
then
yeah.
it just flows. Okay, I do it. What's my please join me. And you can do the next Can you do the song?
Yeah, I don't mind.
I just need, I have to get the very last bit. It's on here if you want. You can read this while you sing.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, so it's after that bit. After that.
Oh, I can say that part if you want. I can say that part if you want. Like when you stop singing, when the singing stops, then you don't know what to do.
The mine's good blank.
Hare Krishna. Aarti, God Aarti will start in a minute. So if you would please get up and just. All right.
And would anyone like to play Madanga?
Oh.
Hare Krishna. Would anyone like to play Madanga? We've got. You want to play? Yeah, you can play. Yeah.
Is that the one? This one, can you play? How do you play?
Oh.
It's third hand, yeah?
I can play with very softly, so
Oh, yeah, that's right. Finally, and the art is here, so when we start, you can join me. श्री श्री राधा गोकुल नंद की, श्री सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की, श्री गौरानिताई की, शीला प्रभुपाद की जय जय गौरचंद्र आरती का शोभा Same time.
बाजे करताला शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे बाजे करताला माधुरामी रंगा बाजे परमरसाला माधुरामी रंगा बाजे परमरसाला शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे शंखा बाजे घंटा बाजे मधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे माधुर 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 बाजे नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौरा हरि बोल बहु कोटि चंद्र जीने बदन